Okay, so it's just about 5:30 on February 19th. I'm going to call this pre-town meeting, informational meeting to order. And first thing is set adjust agenda. Does anybody want to change anything on this agenda? Just say it. So hearing none, we're going to roll with the agenda, which is short and sweet. This is just an informational meeting to go through the budget, really, for a town meeting, and take any other input from the audience. So I think at town meeting, what I would like to focus on is in our budget, we are proposing, let's see, anyone who has a town report could turn to page 11. We're proposing a budget for the town of, for the next fiscal year, which begins July 1 of 26. Budget of $4,741,600. That's a 7.33% increase over last year. The select board did try to bring that down, feeling that it was quite an increase, but really there are two big things, I think, that drive this increase. One is that we are planning on a roughly 5% match to some big projects, some mostly bridge projects that's 90% covered by FEMA, 10% covered by the state, and so we're adding to, I guess, where it shows.
Well, some of that percentage is ours. You said 90 and 10.
Oh, sorry, 90 and 5.
Yeah.
So then we end with 5%, and so the projects that we have outstanding, we think are going to total about $350,000 to $375,000. So in this budget, we've reserved about $100,000 in the bridges capital line, which at the bottom of page 11 shows up in line items, because that's where the line items is where we contribute to the capital budgets. So that's one big driver, and suddenly I'm spacing on the other big driver.
The second is the bond payment.
And the bond payment, thank you. So the other thing is that we're planning on the new Hardwick Emergency Services Complex over on Creamery Road. We've got conceptual designs, we've got preliminary cost estimates, and we anticipate having to bond for the highway garage portion of that project, hopefully this early summer. And so we, rather than just kind of waiting to see what happens, and we've incorporated some money into this budget for a bond payment. It's probably about enough to, I think it's an interest-only payment the first year. It's not a full bond payment amount, but it's something, it's a placeholder that will get us started on that. Assuming the bond passes. And that is, bond payment is, where is that?
It's on
Buildings.
line items, like halfway down.
Yeah.
Highway garage bond payment. Starts with zeros.
Let's do.
Look for the zeros, you'll find it.
Where did I miss?
17.
Thank you. Good thing we do a dry run, huh? Bond payment, this one. Yeah, okay, so they're setting, so on page 17, kind of in the middle of the page, you can see a highway garage bond payment set aside of $150,000. And the capital road fund, up higher on that page. Nope, not the capital road fund. There's our
It's under,
Bridge.
it's under the bridge fund plus FEMA local share under public works in the capital 3-year plan, page 23.
Yeah, but
I don't see it in the line item.
this is the capital improvement fund.
Yeah, which is where you said it was.
Yeah, but
It's not
that is
supported.
not directly, it needs to be
Yeah.
supported out of
Yeah.
line items.
Well, there's the 100, so it would be 100.
Last year we did 100, this year we're doing 207. Oh, there it is. It's capital general fund on the page
207.
17.
Yep,
207,000, that's
Yeah.
a $107,000 increase over the year before. So
Got it.
those are the two big things, I think. Otherwise, we have a lot of kind of regular annual percentage increases, like just the cost of things go up, the cost of healthcare, the people's salaries go up 3 or 4% a year. And that's kind of the rest of it. But those two big things are the big reason for the big jump this year. It's the set aside for the, our share, our FEMA share for the bridges, and it's a bond payment in anticipation of a successful bond vote for the Hardwick Emergency Services. And just backing up for a second to the other thing I really want to point out before I open up for questions, back on page 11, if I can get back there. So we also, up in the projected revenues, we've, somewhere, where are we? So I guess kind of in the top third, we have local option tax. So we put in $50,000 of revenue there. So we're actually, at town meeting, we're voting on this budget ahead of voting on that local option tax. But our projections here are projecting that will pass. And essentially what that does is it adds $50,000 to the revenues. And so down below where it's got total revenues, total budget, and property taxes, those revenues are subtracted from the budget to determine the amount to be raised by property tax. So that $50,000 anticipated directly decreases the amount to be raised by property tax by $50,000.
Offset.
Yeah, offsets.
we also added $18,000, or $12,000 for Springfest. That was a new addition.
We did.
Yeah, so we can limit the time it takes for fundraising and focus on the event.
Yep.
I'm just adding the other change was removing the public works director position, which was an add-on last year.
Right.
That's true. So last year, we asked the voters to support adding on a public works director, and that was in the office. Where is it? Is it not in here?
Yeah, it is.
Highway, administration, page 13. So you'll see on page 13 in the administration and office expenses, the town manager's office staff payroll actually has a decrease. And that's because we eliminated, well, that was a position that we added last year. It was never filled, despite some attempts. We did advertise for it, interviewed, and actually had a couple of candidates that we pursued on that. I think ultimately what we learned was we weren't going to be able to get what we wanted for the amount of money that we budgeted. And so we decided or the town manager really decided to take a different approach. And instead of trying to hire a full-time public works director who would largely oversee a bunch of our projects, instead we've added money for consultants under professional services so that we can hire people on a per project basis, basically, as needed to help administer projects or oversee.
Yeah, we still have a lot of projects in engineering, and we have the one bridge project that's kicking off, but likely we won't see a lot more construction until late in this next year. So we'll be able to, yeah, do more project management instead of having a full-time employee on the books. So it might come to that, but it's just, we're not there.
We're not there, and we weren't able.
Consultants end up being cheaper.
We weren't able to find the right person,
Right.
and it seemed like we could be more successful hiring consultants as needed. Yeah, I think those are the major things that I want to touch on. Anybody we have a little bit of audience, you guys want to ask some questions?
I'll ask one.
All right, please state your name.
Andrew Gilbert. The idea of like, when you add a bond like for highway garage and then you have some outstandings, do you ever, does anybody care? Do you ever look at it from like what your total bond obligation is or what the timeline of that bond obligation is? Because you're adding, you know what I mean? Because you have these really cool charts back here like with the capital schedules, but.
Oh, like adding a page that shows the.
Kind of your bond
indebtedness and
obligation,
when they-
indebtedness, yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
that's an interesting idea, yeah, that would be good. We do, every time we go for a bond, we do assess, or they assess for us our total indebtedness
Yeah.
relative to our budget and everything, but yeah, it would be nice to have a graphic that illustrates,
yeah, it's kind of weird.
yeah, well, just our outstanding debt and when it matures. Yeah, it is important to know because
Yeah.
when those things mature and fall off, then you don't have that bond payment, and that's good to know too. And if you time it right, so your next big event happens to coincide with the end of an existing bond, then it's smooth. Yeah. Good idea.
I had somebody who couldn't make it tonight ask, sort of similar to what Andrew is asking, what happens if the bond doesn't go through to the budget?
If the bond isn't through the budget, or if the bond doesn't pass?
So if the bond doesn't pass, what happens to the budget? Somebody asked.
Nothing happens to the budget. So what, yeah, that's a great question.
Set it aside
So
because
so.
Still go into
to do
a
the
fund
project.
balance,
Right.
essentially.
Or we could, no, wait, where does it go?
It's in
It's in,
line items. Oh, no, it's in the, yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it's in line items.
it's in line items, and it ends up highway garage bond payment. Does it just stay there? It didn't go through to a capital? I don't think it does. So, yeah, okay, so what happens if the bond vote doesn't happen? Either we don't, get around to having the vote, or the bond vote fails, is we'd still, whatever budget is voted in town meeting is the budget that we had for that year. We would raise taxes to meet that budget. But if we did not have the bond expense as the $150,000 predicted, then that essentially presumably would remain unspent, and at the end of that fiscal year, that all unspent money, including that, would end up in a fund balance. We did something slightly different with the to the amount that we're saving for the bridges, because for that, the part that's our match to FEMA, because we're quite sure that those projects are gonna move forward. It's a lot of money, but it's possible that the timeline doesn't line up with exactly the way we predicted, because construction projects didn't get delayed for a lot of reasons. So what we did there was, we put it's in the line items, but it goes into the capital general fund. So what happens there is if that doesn't get spent, that ends up still sitting in that capital fund. So the next year, that money is still there in that capital fund, and we can use it for those projects that we know are coming. The bond vote for the highway garage, it's a great question, because the bond vote for the highway garage is a little different. Like if that fails, then that essentially means people don't want to move forward with that project, because that's the main funding source there.
We should have
So-
put that to end up in the building capital.
We could have put it to end up in the building capital, yeah.
We're gonna need it.
Well, actually, it's a good point, because, because if we don't replace that building, we gotta do something to keep it upright.
Can that be at town meeting amended from the floor? to put it in
No,
the
because what happens at town meeting is the vote, the question on the warning and the vote is on the total budget amount to run the town. So the vote is on $4,741,600.
Right, the vote is not on the bond.
The vote is not on the bond.
No.
The vote is not on any detail within the budget. The vote is on the total budget amount.
Right.
The bond vote is potentially gonna happen later in the spring.
We're hoping for May.
From May, yeah.
But I guess another thing, just to let people know relative to that, is we are through our community development coordinator and through NBDA, we are working to try to see if some Northern Borders Regional Commission funding would be appropriate for the town highway garage. They have a program called Timber for Transit. And if we did a mass timber frame for that building, then we could be eligible for a fair amount of funding. There's a whole process there, and we're going to initiate the process so we're lined up to get started on that, but don't know yet where that's going to lead. But it's, yeah, the funding is good. And we're also reached out to our architecture firm, so if it all makes sense, like if it makes sense to do a timber frame for that building, which so far it looks like it does, and if it's, not hugely more expensive, then it looks like there's good funding potentially for that highway garage. That'll really help us. All right, so, what do we have? I've been rambling a lot. Somebody should ask another question. Or what's a question that you've heard people ask? Anybody?
So the local option tax is not gonna be on a paper ballot, it's going to be voted from the floor.
Correct, so that's gonna be voted from the floor. I believe that's I think that's right after the budget.
Yep.
It's the next item. And so that will be voted from the floor. So to me, that's a good way to do it because it allows us to have a conversation about it and people can can ask their questions and hopefully we can answer them. We'll try anyway. Because I think a lot of people may have questions about that. Larry, can you state your name?
Larry Freewoman. I'm wondering, is the matching money that we would need to buy the Buffalo Mountain property in this budget? No.
I don't think so. I don't remember it being in there. No.
So you mean, are you saying the $25,000 is being asked
Yeah.
for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
We
question.
did not budget for it in this.
Okay.
And it is Article 7 on the warning.
So my
Will
understanding,
it be a
Larry,
separate
from,
thing?
my understanding from the last time that they were here was that what they need right now is to know that the town is going to commit funds. They're not going to actually need those funds until the other grants start to be in process.
Okay.
So that would be, if that passes, then we would probably put it into next year's budget, was kind of my understanding based on what Hannah was saying, because it's really a commitment to show the other funders that the town is willing to put some money in. But I'm not gonna bet my life on that.
And also, if it's not budgeted for, but if it was needed, then you could the select board could authorize the money to come out of the fund balance.
Yeah. So, yeah, so just in general, maybe it's important also to think about, you know, we have this budget and we have all our departments and everybody tries to do their spending according to what's budgeted. And Casey gives us quarterly reports to see how everybody's doing, and also how we're doing overall. But in the grand scheme, a budget is just our best guess at spending. And always there's variation, right? Like you never are really exactly on your budget. You want to be close and you want it to be the best prediction you can make. But there's always variation. And some departments are going to underspend, some departments might overspend. Like, you know, we're overspending on salt right now. But probably underspending in some other areas, like fuel oil is low, so like our, probably, you know, we could have, you know, less fuel costs than we had budgeted. So, you know, things go up and down, and at the end of the year, we're always a little off, and if we have more money than we spent, then it goes to the fund balance, which is good, because that helps us. But if we spend more money than we budgeted, and then it comes out of the fund balance. So, you know, even if we spent right to budget and it was really important to spend that $25,000, if it's voted for, then that can happen.
Okay, thank you.
It's a long rambling answer.
Yeah, just one.
Sorry, yeah, what's your name?
I was here for the last time I was with him. I have one thing that went through my head just now. Maybe, you know, the area you told me about earlier the last time I was here to talk to the people for making the little park area?
Skate park.
CAE.
Yeah.
Maybe that spot, maybe the buildings that are empty still, maybe add one area to that to make kind of more of a children's area to hang with. I don't know. It's the only thing that
Like
came
a park is what you're thinking.
Kind
That
of.
sounds like you're talking about like a park.
Yeah, you know those two buildings that are in the same area as where where we were in? There's the unopened areas.
Talking about by where they do the farmer's market.
So I'm pretty sure that's.
No, where we went in yesterday.
That's still the Center for Agricultural Economy,
Yeah.
so that's their buildings. Okay, so yeah, bring your ideas to those guys. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions about the budget or town meeting, or really about the morning or anything like that?
I would just, since we have Tanya, ask if there's anything town meeting's right around the corner. Is there any help that you need, Tanya, for?
I need more volunteers in the late afternoon, early evening at the polling location if anybody wants to. Other than that, I think I'm good. Encounters at the end of the evening.
Any qualifications for volunteering for the poll?
You have to be a registered voter in Hardwick.
Okay.
That's it.
You gotta be able to count more than,
Tanya, I can
Two.
do the evening vote if that's helpful.
You can't count, no. No, no.
Yeah, we three of us can count together.
Right.
count like twos.
I think, unless anybody has anything else, I'm gonna adjourn this informational meeting and give us a short break to stretch before the select board.
A reset.
Yeah. All right,
I
so
yield my time.
we're gonna adjourn, thank you. So, it's about 6 o'clock on February 19th. I'm gonna call the regular select board meeting to order. First thing is set adjust agenda. Does anybody have anything to change?
Yes.
We wanna remove something, don't we?
Yeah, the executive session. I actually want to turn it into something else. I'd like to give you guys a heads up on potential litigation.
Oh, so we're still doing executive
Yeah,
session,
we're
but it's
just
not
changing the reason.
personnel.
We're just changing the reason.
It's sorry, potential litigation.
Yeah.
Okay, and,
We need to remove item number 5.
and remove item number 5. Because that's, we don't know, the state put on that yet. Anything else?
I can motion to amend the agenda as requested.
Second?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, that's everyone, so motion carries. We have an amended agenda. Communication with the audience. Anybody want to say anything about something that's not on the agenda? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on. Select board to approve the minutes from last time, which was February 5th. I thought they looked good.
So moved.
Second. Sherry Goodby.
Sherry got it, the second. All right, any discussion on the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes as written, please say aye.
Aye.
That's everyone, so motion carries, minutes approved. Next, town manager report, Mr. Upson.
All right, so we've continued with the Public Works contract negotiations. We've had 2 meetings, I think, since the last select board meeting, going well. Some back and forth, but we were getting closer to a contract.
Are you, what length of time is the contract?
3 years.
3 years, okay.
Yeah.
So same as before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Springfest planning is ongoing. We're going to be kicking off a fundraising letter here shortly, hopefully by the beginning of next week. Waiting to hear from Kiwanis on that. Still continuing with essential service complex planning, funding. We had another meeting with Hardwick Rescue and the architect last week, so that's ongoing. Working on the next step is fundraising for that. Looking for grants and such. We sent a big packet of information to FEMA on the fire station. So that's our new big project that we're negotiating with FEMA about. I think we've covered all our bases. There's just a couple questions about the amount of fill that we would have to bring in if we elevated the fire station. So obviously we're not going to do that, but they want to know if we elevated it 3 feet above the base flood elevation, how much fill would we need to bring and how much would that raise the water level. And our aim is no rise. So, but there is a rise if we did that. So that's the back and forth negotiations with FEMA. It's gonna be a similar thing to the wastewater plant, although the wastewater plant is in a mitigation department. So hopefully we'll have an answer. So how much they're willing to give us for that building and what the plan is to do with it. That's ongoing, and then just want to announce that this Saturday at 6:30, from 6:30 to 8, in the Parker Ladd Room at the library, there's the candidates for the select board. They're going to have a question and answer period. So,
Great.
we want the community to attend. You guys will be there, right?
That's a short report.
Yeah. Quick, I was sick all last week.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the flu.
All right, so.
There's other stuff, but
There,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there's always other stuff.
Yeah, we got I can chat with you about it, the North Country Healthcare, like the health center folks. We've been in contact with them with the money that they receive for the pharmacy money. So they're just kind of weighing their options right now on locations. We're just kind of helping them with the conversation. They haven't nailed down exactly what they're going to do yet, but they're committed to bringing the pharmacy back to Hardwick.
Which is great news.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us the road report?
Yep. They moving snow. They opened up the townhouse. What's that? Yeah, they do 3 things. They opened up the townhouse. The townhouse is the heat's back up over there. And then they've been plowing, they've been winging back banks to get the snow off the roadway, off the edge of the roadways when we have the melt. Working on equipment, no major breakdowns, just some small routine maintenance stuff. They had to replace a chain in the back of one of the beds. That was original. That moves the sand up to the sander. And they've just been chasing the storms and the snow and salting and sanding.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
There was a sewer issue late last week, that we had to get Minaj here for, off of Perry Lane. So, likely due to the ground moving. Old piper.
All right, sounds good. All right, next up, police department report, Mike Henry.
Everything's running smoothly. We're out there doing, fast patrol as well.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody seems to be behaving themselves in what we've done. So that's going pretty well. People are pretty excited about this year. Out there with the snowmobiles. We have a person in week 3 at the academy. So she's doing very well. Everything else is running smoothly.
Good. Glad to hear it. Thank you. Questions for Mike? All right. Hardwick electric report. Didn't we have Hardwick electric here last? Oh, Jake was just here.
We are.
Did we just have a bomb, their line of credit? Exactly. Right, okay, wasn't a report. All right, so moving on, item 1. Select board to consider approving a revised personnel policy. That was in our packets, and thank you to whoever.
That was Amanda.
Thank you to Amanda, especially for highlighting the changes. That was very helpful, especially on a longer document. So changes were like definitions of family were updated to be consistent throughout, or something like that. With a lot of the changes.
Really to make it a little clearer to understand too, there was some vagueness.
Streamline it, language.
Yeah.
Yep. And the only real change that I saw, well, what struck me as a real change was employees, number 3, that employees are eligible for additional compensation when covering a vacant position or someone on extended leave. That's a change, right?
We added that, and then we also added accrual rate. So everybody is up front loaded with their leave time, or if somebody leaves, then we
Get
added
true
the
up.
accrual.
Yeah. All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised personnel policy.
Second.
Any more discussion?
I just I had one question about the number 3, and maybe I just missed it. So is that, you just said, Amanda, that's prorated, or no, that time off is prorated?
So if somebody were to be on leave, then another employee is covering that position. And in the past, it has been negotiated that they get a little extra stipend in their pay to cover the employee that is on leave.
Okay, so if you were, just so I understand, so if you were an hourly employee, you would essentially get overtime, because you would get an additional.
Just an additional hourly rate.
Okay. And is that the same across all positions?
That'd be anybody that's not working under a union contract.
Or I guess I mean, would you get the same rate no matter what position you were covering?
No,
Okay.
no.
But what I'm hearing though is that this was an informal policy that was handled on a case-to-case basis
Yeah.
previously.
Correct.
So you're formalizing it in the personnel policies. And
Yes.
There's additional compensation if you're covering, you're also doing someone else's job in addition to.
Other duties. If you have other
Yeah.
duties assigned to you due to vacancies,
Yeah,
you would be compensated for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll be determined on the actual dollar amount will be determined on a case this like lays out, but it's a
It's,
policy.
it's good that we can do it.
Right.
Okay, great.
More discussion? Okay, so all in favor of approving the updated personnel?
Was there a second?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
Yeah, all in favor of approving the updated personnel policy, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 2, select board to consider approving a tier 2 manufacturing cannabis license renewal for the Clean Cannabis Company. And we have a code. There, we did have one.
I'll make a motion to approve a Tier 2 manufacturing cannabis license renewal for the Clean Cannabis Company.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Discussion?
No issues.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, item 3 is another cannabis, to the cannabis license renewal for the Wick Cannabis Company, formerly known as the Cannabis Shop.
And that's retail.
This is a retail license.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry, right, retail, the manufacturing.
So the ownership has changed of our
Oh.
retail cannabis.
I did not know that, so not just the name.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I would make a motion to approve a retail cannabis license renewal for the Wick Cannabis Market, formerly known as the Cannabis Shop.
Do we have any issues?
We have not had any issues reported.
Okay. Discussion?
Right, and seconded.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the retail cannabis license, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next, item 4 is select board to consider approving liquor and tobacco license for Tops Market LLC.
I'll make a motion to approve a liquor and tobacco license for Tops Market LLC.
Second.
Great, we have a note from Tanya that no violations. Discussion? All in favor of approving the liquor and tobacco license for Tops, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We're skipping item 5 because we removed it. Item 6 is select board to consider approving the proposal from NEK Comfort LLC for cellulose insulation MERP projects, which is municipal energy.
Resiliency program.
There we go. And it's a grant-funded project in the amount of $100,920 and authorize the town manager to execute a contract. There were details on the buildings in our packet. So it's this building, the memorial building, is the
Yep.
public safety building
Yep. Townhouse.
and townhouse.
Yep. And this is, we need to spend this money by the end of this year. And we've put this out several times. We got some astronomical responsive, like astronomical numbers back. Through NVDA's MERP meetings that Tracy attended, our community development coordinator, we got individual companies that had been doing work in other communities. Mr. Morgan was recommended, we contacted, he came and looked at all the projects and gave us a good number. So we think this is the best approach to get this work done and get the building envelopes taken care of. There is some other MERP work that's in our grant agreement, but the state doesn't expect us to get all of it done with the money that was provided, just to keep moving forward and doing the projects in the grant agreement. So the installation is a big piece of it.
And this is 100% covered by that grant?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like really good.
Yeah.
I mean, air sealing and insulating and the
Yeah.
attics of all the buildings.
Yeah, they'll take out all the insulation, and they'll seal up any penetrations and air leakage to the ceiling, and then re-insulate.
Great. I can make a motion to approve the proposal from NEK Comfort LLC for the cellulose insulation MERP projects in the amount of, grant funded in the amount of $100,920. and to authorize the town manager to execute the contract.
Second.
More discussion?
It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries, and thank you for keeping that
Yep.
rolling.
Well, Tracy's been
Okay, thank
attending
you,
the
Tracy.
meetings and, yeah.
Yeah,
Save us some eating costs.
it
It's
will
supposed
save
to
us
get us,
some dollars.
it's supposed to get us off of fossil fuels. One of the other pieces of the MERC program is to replace our oil burning furnaces with heat pumps,
Mhm.
and we're a little hesitant on that entirely, so
Let's get the insulation.
that's why we're gonna do the installation.
Do the installation first, yeah.
Yeah,
So, I have a quick question. So the townhouse, we fairly recently put insulation in the ceiling. Are they going to take that out?
yeah, they're gonna take it out, and put new stuff in. Yeah, just to see, well,
But,
that's what we have to do, yeah, and seal up any air leaks or anything like that.
oh,
And then they end up putting in more.
What's that?
They end up putting in more cellulose than is currently there. I think.
20 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next is item 7, review change of job title from zoning administrator to zoning and floodplain administrator / resilience and adaptation coordinator, and consider approving the updated job description. I will only comment that that job title is a mouthful, but
So, what I want to say about this is since the flood of 2023, Kristen has stepped up and has been doing all of this
Right.
at 100%, 110%. And we want to acknowledge that and make it official.
yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, just makes a really long business card title. That's all I'm
Is there
thinking.
anything you want to say? Is there anything you want
It's-
to add?
Okay.
It's on there.
Okay. I mean, I thought it looked good. It looks like there's an awful lot in that job description.
And that's because you do an awful lot, so thank you.
I would definitely entertain a motion to adopt the job title and.
I'd like to add one thing.
I already added it.
Okay.
Is, all
Any
right.
and all other duties assigned by the town manager. I'd like to add.
Nice.
It's implicit, isn't it?
I'll make a motion to change the job title from zoning administrator to zoning and floodplain administrator / resilience and adaptation coordinator, and approve the updated job description.
second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, good, motion carries. That's everyone. Next is item 8, select board to consider providing a letter of support for AWARE for the Vermont Women's Fund grant, and authorize town manager to sign the letter, and there was a letter for us to consider, so we did good.
I'll make a motion to provide a letter of support for AWARE for the Vermont Women's Fund grant and authorize the town manager to sign the letter, the sample letter provided.
Second?
Do you know what the project is? What they're-
What's that?
What they're
What
applying
the
for?
funding is for from the Vermont Women's Fund.
Operations?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
awesome. Any other
Did they
discussion?
get through the there's supposed to be some sort of a thing that Casey puts, it's not an application, but
That's
it's-
if a
Only a
town,
town
that's a
thing.
town thing.
Okay.
That's an internal document.
Just as long
Yeah.
as we're not,
They-
we've seen that, okay.
So our policy is that they provide the application,
Mhm.
which they did,
Mhm.
and we have the select board approve it.
Okay.
There's not an application
Not
because
another
it's,
one, okay.
because
I
it's,
just wanted to make
yeah,
sure
yeah,
we.
it's not that, the town isn't applying for the grant. So
Right.
we're not administering it.
Right.
Yeah, they're just asking for a letter of support.
All right, I get it,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
More discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 9, select board to consider adding 0.01 miles to the town highway map for the small cut through between Moulton Lane and Richardson Road. And this is up by the ball field behind the elementary school. It is a really small little segment. I didn't even know it was there.
Yep. And for example, we just took 0.03 miles off of the map for Town Highway 316. And this was brought to us after we submitted the mileage chart. The state mapper came back and said, oh, by the way, we're trying to catch all of these little cut-through islands in all the towns. Can we add this 0.01 mileage to your map? And I said, sure, go ahead, and I'll run it by the select board. I don't think they'll object, but we'll send the meeting minutes and the acknowledgement that it's okay to add.
Is there any issue with this whatsoever?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve the 0.01 miles for the small cut through between Moulton Lane and Richardson Road to be added to the town highway map.
Second.
Any other discussion about that very key bit of road? All in favor of adding to the highway map, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, select board reports. New business?
Well, new business, we wanted to say thank you to Eric or should it be old business?
I don't
And a little token, this is your last official meeting.
know.
You're still going to preside over town meeting.
So they said.
So, but we want to say thank you for.
We'll still
Eric.
celebrate you then.
Eric discovered we should have taken bets on how many years you've been on the select board.
I know, I could have joined.
You'll be back next year.
We think, according to the original email that Eric found today, it's 14 years.
I have that in the table.
Yeah.
That's what you have too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I knew it was more than 10 and less than 15.
I had March of 2012.
Okay.
That's the year I started with the state police.
Really?
So
Thank you.
What year did you tell?
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't want to.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to miss you,
Oh,
but I assume you'll be joining us
over there.
twice a month for fun.
Maybe not like full frequency, but sometimes I definitely will.
He'll be here as much as the road foreman.
All right. Thank you, guys. Any other new business or old business?
We should just do another plug for people to come to town meeting at the townhouse. I would be more than happy to drive anybody who needs a lift. I'm just gonna put that out on for first forum. If anyone wants to get there on the early
I'll
side.
give anybody a ride too, except for Ann.
Because you forgot her.
Also the plug for the select board candidates meeting on, Saturday at the Judavine Library, I believe at 6:30? 6:30 to 8.
I already mentioned it, my manager,
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
if you were paying.
I wasn't paying attention.
Double the
I never do, but the end of the beginning and end of the meeting is good.
And just if people didn't see it and want to see it, Maya wrote a nice letter to the Gazette explaining all of the efforts that are being made for town meeting to go smoothly and answering all of Ann's questions.
And I thought it was well done.
Yeah, so it's good information, and she got that great picture in there.
Awesome. All right, so I would entertain a motion to move into executive session pursuant to 1 VSA 313 for a potential litigation matter to include the town manager. And do you want the town clerk too?
No.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor of going to executive session? Aye.
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 Why not?